Okay, so basically, there's a lot of cost estimates out there, and it's hard to know which ones are reliable. So using fear is effective because Americans have nowhere to turn for the truth. Let's return to America's second big concern, unemployment. About 2 million undocumented students would be eligible for citizenship under the DREAM Act. However, one estimate found that only about 38% of the 2 million would likely satisfy the DREAM Act's many requirements. Expanding the U.S. population would create more competition in the job market. In fact, immigration and unemployment are often linked in the minds of the public. We can see this link even in popular media, such as the television show South Park. In an episode about immigration, aliens from the future time travel to the present and start to fill the job market. Here's a clip showing the American public's response.
They take our gas! They take our gas! They took our gas! They took our gas!
As you see, the original call of "they took our jobs" loses all meaning. South Park argues that Americans get caught in the uproar over unemployment because it's pretty scary. The fact that the issue of immigration and jobs is featured on a television show as popular and controversial as South Park speaks to how pervasive the issue is in our society. Politicians are also well aware of this link between immigration and unemployment. They've exercised it continuously during the debate over the DREAM Act. For instance, Congressman Lamar Smith argued that the DREAM Act enables fraud and steals jobs. And MSNBC political analyst Pat Buchanan claimed that the DREAM Act would raise unemployment numbers. The poor economic climate in the late 2000s had an incredibly negative impact on the DREAM Act's chance of being passed. The confusion over the DREAM Act's economic consequences enables the use of fear as a motivating factor. And the hot-button issue of jobs highlights the DREAM Act's potential to create more competition in our society. These two issues have been major selling points for the critics of the DREAM Act. And there's a few things that we can learn from this. First, passing immigration reform is hard when other things are on the American public's mind. When only 4% of Americans are worried about immigration, it's difficult to address the issue. Second, in order to fight more effectively for the DREAM Act, we need to change how we argue. Although I didn't cover them here, arguments made for the DREAM Act often use a pathetic appeal. Think about the story that I opened with, that detailed the struggles of an undocumented student named Corey. Sad narratives like these are used over and over again, and they haven't gotten us anywhere. Instead, our arguments should be logical and fact-based. And in order to do that, we need to get rid of the fear and confusion surrounding the DREAM Act. Activists and scholars must work together to better educate the public. Joan Petersilia suggests that we must expend effort creating readable publications and presentations for the media and the general public. If we can demystify the DREAM Act through these actions, perhaps we can take the edge off of the arguments being made by opponents of the DREAM Act. In this way, we can level the playing field, and perhaps with careful attention to the economic climate and what issues concern Americans most, we can make arguments that will get the DREAM Act and further immigration reform